All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're just waiting for quorum so we can call the meeting to order. So thank you for your patience. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the special call meeting of the Atlanta City Council here on Wednesday, June 29, 2022. I am Alex Wan. Our Council President, Doug Shipman, was unable to attend, as well as our President Pro Tem, Howard Shook, and they have asked me and given me the privilege to preside over today's meeting, given the subject matter. So with that, the meeting is now officially called to order. First item on the agenda is roll call. Before I have the Deputy Clerk conduct the convening roll call, I want to announce that Council Member Mary Norwood is attending today's meeting remotely via teleconference in accordance with the official Code of Georgia, Section 50-14-1G3. Deputy Clerk, please take the convening roll call.
Council President Shipman, Councilmember Wan, Councilmember Bond, Westmoreland, Waits, Winston, Faroki, Amos, Dozier, Bakhtiari, Shook, Norwood, Councilmember Norwood, Hillis, Boone, Overstreet, Lewis.
Present.
Quorum present.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Clerk. First item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Is there a motion? Motion by Winston, second by Faroki. With that, please open the vote.
The vote is open. Will all members please vote? The vote is closed. 9 yeas, 0 nays.
9 yeas, 0 nays. The motion carries. The agenda is adopted. Next item on the agenda is the invocation. Colleagues, today we're asking that everyone just take a moment of silence and a moment to reflect on today's proceedings, what's happening in the world, and take the opportunity to get yourself in a frame of mind for today's meeting. So let's take that moment of silence now. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I invite everyone to stand as you are able. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is communications. Madam Deputy Clerk.
The communication is 22C5111, a communication from Council President Doug Shipman calling a special call meeting of the Atlanta City Council on Wednesday, June 29, 2022 at 12:30 p.m. regarding legislation 22-01468. Staff recommendation is to accept and file, sir.
All right. Without objection, we'll let that take that course as recommended. Seeing none, thank you. All right, that takes us to remarks from the public. Is there anyone signed up to speak at this moment?
There are no remarks by the public, sir.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Clerk. All right, that takes us to item H, legislation for consideration. First item is 22-01468, an ordinance by Councilmember Alex Wan supplementing that certain 31st supplemental bond ordinance 22-01346, adopted by the Atlanta City Council on June blank 2022 and approved by the Mayor on June blank 2022. To, among other things, set forth the terms of the City of Atlanta Airport passenger facility charge and subordinate lien general revenue forward delivery refunding bonds, Series 2023 FWD-A-1 non-AMT, and City of Atlanta Airport passenger facility charge and subordinate lien general revenue forward delivery refunding bond, Series 2023 FWD-A-2 non-AMT, collectively the Series 2023 FWD-A bonds, with certain parameters previously established by the City, including the original principal amount of each Series 2023 FWD-A bond actually sold, and the interest rates, maturity amounts, and maturity dates with respect thereto, affirm satisfaction of the additional bonds test with respect to the Series 2023 FWD-A bonds, ratify certain prior actions of the City Council and certain officers and agents of the City with respect to the issuance and sale of the Series 2023 FWD-A bonds, ratify and approve the execution and delivery of a separate forward delivery bond purchase agreement with respect to each Series 2023 FWD-A bond and for other related purposes. Colleagues, this came out of committee favorable. It was tabled at our June 21st, 2022 meeting. So with that, I think we need to do a motion to remove this from the table. I'll entertain that motion. Motion moved by Westmoreland, seconded by Lewis, to bring this forward off the table. So let's open that vote, please.
The vote is open. Will all members please vote? The vote is closed. 10 yeas, 0 nays.
10 yeas, 0 nays. The motion carries. The paper is now before us. And colleagues, before we hear from Finance, there is a substitute for this. So we already have the prevailing motion on the floor as it came out of committee, correct? So we don't need to redo that motion?
That's correct.
Okay, so now I need a motion to amend with the substitute, done by Bakhtiari, seconded by Overstreet. Let's open that vote, please.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 10 yeas, 0 nays.
10 yeas, 0 nays. The motion carries. The substitute is before us. With that, I will ask CFO Mohammed Bala to carry us through the presentation.
Thank you, Chairman Wan. If you could please put the presentation up. Good morning, afternoon, council members. My name is Mohammed Bala. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for the City of Atlanta, and today we will be discussing the Airport Passenger Facility Charge and Subordinate Lien General Revenue Forward Delivery Refunding Bonds, Series 2023 Series 2023 Forward A1 and Series 2023 Forward A2. Before we start, I just want to kind of orient the council into what we're doing today. In this rising interest rate environment, we have been diligent and innovative in finding ways to assure that the city can still save a significant amount of money in the financial markets. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 eliminated a municipal issuer's ability to issue tax-exempt advance refunding bonds more than 90 days before the call date. As an alternative, many issuers have been using forward delivery bonds to lock in refinancing savings in advance of the call date. So this structure that we have in front of you right now is utilizing that mechanism. Next slide, please. On June 27, 2022, Bank of America agreed to purchase $400 million of the Series 2023 Forward A1 bonds at a rate of 3.22%. And on June 22nd, CN Financing, Inc., an affiliate of RBC Capital Markets, agreed to purchase $116,830,000 of the Series 2023 Forward A2 bonds at a rate of 3.3%. The aggregate proceeds from the bonds are going to be used to refund $508,700,000 of the airport's outstanding passenger facility charges, also pay cost of issuances related to the transaction. And this transaction, by executing the refunding, saves annually roughly $3 million for the Department of Aviation, with a gross savings of over $36 million. The slide before you shows the sources and uses of the proceeds. As discussed, the sources for the A1 and A2 are for the two financial institutions mentioned before, and totaling with the accrued interest is $404,884,945 on the A1s and $118,241,503 for the A2s, giving us a total sources of $523,091,448, and you will see the uses are to place those refunded bonds in escrow, as well as pay for the cost of issuance and a commitment fee to CMB. The total uses match the total sources of funds, and on the tax status, you'll see the delivery dates is when the transaction finally executes on 10/3/2023. One thing to note here is that the cost of issuance by the Department of Aviation will be paid at of closing of this transaction, but will be refunded on 2023. So DOA has agreed that that is prudent to do to lock in the substantial amount of savings. On the next slide, I'd really want to just take time to thank everybody's efforts in making sure that the city continues to lead the way in the capital markets to assure significant savings for our operating departments. I'd like to thank the Executive Office, Mayor Dickens, and his administration for their support. The Department of Finance, I'd like to thank Courtney Knight, the treasurer, and his team for the diligence of putting this transaction together. Department of Aviation, I'd like to thank General Manager Biadori, CFO Brian Benefield, and his team for their support throughout the transaction. And the Department of Law internally, of course, wanted to thank City Attorney Nina Hickson and her team for their diligence and hard work throughout. The transaction team comprised of bond counsel Hunt, Andrews, and Kurth, and Stover Legal Group. The co-disclosure counsel was Greenberg, Charg, and Riddle and Schwartz. Financial advisors who've done a magnificent job is Frask and Associates. Bank counsel for the two issuing banks are Chapman and Cutler. Paying agent U.S. Bank, and the purchasers, of course, again, Bank of America and CN Financing, Inc. If there's any additional questions regarding the transaction, Chief Courtney Knight is here to take those if needed.
Any questions from my colleagues on the presentation or the paper before us? Move approval. There's a motion from Mr. Westmoreland to approve as amended, seconded by Bakhtiari. If there's no further discussion, let's open that vote, please.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 10 yeas, 0 nays.
And yeas, 0 nays, the motion carries. This item is adopted. Before we adjourn, CFO Ball, I just wanted to thank you and your team for the creativity and innovation that you displayed with this transaction, especially in a time when interest rates are rising quickly, moving against us. I was surprised that we even still had opportunities to do some refundings that could save the city sizable amounts of money. So I do want to acknowledge the work that y'all did in bringing this to us and successfully getting this passed.
Thank you, Chairman.
Any other general remarks from my colleagues?
I'll move to send it to the mayor's office.
All right, there's a motion from Mr. Westmoreland to send it post haste, seconded by Bakhtiari. Let's open that vote to send it post haste, please.
The vote is open. Will all members please vote? Populating votes. The vote is closed. 10 yeas, 0 nays.
And yeas, 0 nays, the motion carries. Thank you. Madam, any further comments? All right, Madam Deputy Clerk, let's conduct the adjourning roll call, please.
Council President Shipman. Council Members Juan.
Here.
Council Members Michael Bond. Westmoreland. Waits. Winston. Farokhi. Amos. Dozier. Bakhtiari. Juan, I'm sorry, just did that. Shook. Norwood. Here. Hillis. Boone. Overstreet. And Lewis.